Hi, I'm Reverend Brenda McGrath with the Community Center of Holistic Healing. We're doing a series on how to help, and this one is titled How to Help a Sick Friend or Family Member. I'll be covering several things over these next few minutes, so feel free to take some quick notes if you feel inclined. Some of these are practical, some are spiritual, so take what works for you and leave the rest if that helps. Always have them check with their medical team before attempting some of these. If it has to do with ingesting or using supplements or any of that, you always want to check with their medical team first. So along those lines, we first want to obtain consent to offer our own ideas. Some folks may not want help. They may just want your company. But you can ask, how can I help? And then go from there. If they don't have any ideas, you can ask them if they're open to some of your ideas. Then make sure that they allow you to do any of the things that you offer. So you might ask, is this something you'd like for me to do? You'll also want to make sure it's a good time for them to receive company. Check the hospital hours or with family if they're at home. And again, earlier that day to be sure it's still a good time. And once you're sure it's okay, be prompt and bring a gift, even if it's something little, something personal, something thoughtful is best. But if you don't have time for super thoughtful or personal, flowers or a card will go a long way. Even if you just stop at the gift shop, if you're visiting at a hospital, and if you wait, just make sure the gift shop's open. So maybe you could bring their favorite food or beverage, something that reminds them of a fun time you had together. Anything really, but of course, your presence is the best present. So don't let coming in empty-handed stop you, even if bringing a gift just isn't in the cards for that day. Gifts and surprises can take their mind off their pain, even just for an instant. And there are many other things that you can do while you're there to help someone who's sick. You can offer to pray with them. Again, ask their permission first. Make sure it's something that they feel is valuable for them and that you're not pressing your beliefs on them. Remember, you're there to help them with where they are and what they're going through. It doesn't matter how much you pray or how you pray, who you pray to, or what specifically you pray about. It's really the thought that counts. So don't be afraid. Some of the silliest sounding prayers are the ones that lift their spirits the most. I also believe when two come together in prayer, the healing power multiplies exponentially. And some say that if you hold hands, that it also connects a circuit for that energy to flow. So don't worry about the words so much. It's really the feeling that comes from your heart, your desire, your wish for them to be healthy, happy. And if they have a desire to be closer to God, this might be a good time to encourage them to pray more on their own. It's the position of your heart that counts more than the words. You don't have to get it perfect to get it right. Don't worry, just let it out and say whatever you want to say and do it with passion. Really mean it. You can ask them if they'd like to say something or share anything while you're communing with God. And if they wish not to, that's okay too. So remember that God, the universe, all that is, hears all of your prayers and does everything that they can on their side. You can pray for wisdom and guidance for the doctors or medical staff, whether they're present or not. whoever their care team is. You can also substitute God for higher power if people don't necessarily believe in a religion or a deity, or you can use our source. Just let your desires be known, put it out there into the universe for their recovery, their support, and their healing. Help them to turn their worry over to God or the angels or the powers that be. Focus on their healing. Focus on not worrying and not to stress. Their job is to allow themselves to heal if that's what they want to do. Stress blocks the healing flow of energy throughout the chakra system or the healing centers and channels in their body for healing. Help them understand healing is possible. Healing is natural. Some of the blockages to healing are from our own mind that gunk up our system. Another way you can help someone when you're visiting with them, or even when you're apart, is by laying on of hands. Please ask first for consent, both to do healing and to touch. The pain may be too great, and you can always offer to hover your hands over the body. And even if you are apart, consent is important. You can touch them physically. It might be easier for them to feel the energy that you're sending. But get into a clear space in your mind, focusing your intention on healing, and ask your higher self or God or whatever source of creation you believe in to send that healing energy through you to the person in need. While you're focusing on this, try not to let any thoughts from the day take over your mind, any worries that you may have. But if you do find yourself straying in your thoughts, just come back to your breathing and your intention for healing. Just listen to your breathing. Feel your body move as you breathe. Try to breathe down into that area in your belly. Deep breathing. And get back into the healing mode, allowing love and imagining white light flowing through you to them. This white light will also heal and protect you while you're administering this healing through laying on of hands. So it's a win-win. If you're not with them physically, you might use a pillow or stuffed animal as a proxy or substitute. It also works just like prayer when you're not able to be with someone in person. And some people may not believe in prayer or hands-on healing, and that's okay. That is their choice. We have to respect that. But some people are at least willing to be open to try it. So try not to be afraid of resistance or fear or negativity around what you're trying to do for them or how you're trying to help. If they're resistant, again, be respectful of their wishes. I was taking my first class in Reiki when my friend's appendix ruptured. Reiki is a specific hands-on healing technique that I learned because I wanted to find out how Jesus healed people by laying his hands on them. So I went to see her when she was out of surgery. She said, I don't believe in that stuff, but if you want to practice on me, go right ahead. So I did. I said, okay, thanks for letting me practice. You just rest. It was a dimly lit room with her medical supplies all around. And all I did was place my hands over her incision very lightly. And within a few seconds, she gasped. She said, "You didn't tell me I would feel something." And I said, "I didn't know. Everybody's different. What are you feeling?" She said, "I'm feeling tingling all over where your hands are." That's really amazing. And I said, "Great. I think that means that it's working." So over the years, I've come to know that it does work and it definitely can't hurt. So I hope this helps you to know there is something that you can do to help besides prayer or gifts, even just a gentle touch on their hand or on their shoulder to let people know that you're there with them can make a big difference. Just holding their hand and connecting with them, you don't even have to say anything, especially if they're having a hard time. Sometimes just having a friend or loved one there is a big help. Still, if you're not able to be there in person, you can text or call. And if they're resistant and don't want to receive, that's okay. It's their choice. One alternative is that you can also send healing this way from a distance in your own meditation or prayer time and ask that this energy be held for them for when they are ready to receive. That way, you can still do something to help, and when they're ready, it will send. We often feel so helpless in these moments of illness and uncertainty about the future. The body has an uncanny ability and natural and strong ability to heal itself. We just need to give it the right environment, the right tools, the right energy, and the ability for healing energy to flow by reducing the stress. Whether you give it to God or just put it out of your mind and focus on the positive, what you want to see, total restoration, total healing, complete recovery. Seeing this and holding on to it is going to aid recovery a whole lot faster than focusing or worrying about the negative outcome. My sister says, focus on where you want to go. So try to stay positive and keep them positive as well. You can ask if there's anything on their mind, anything that they're worried about. It's offering comforting to be able to help them ease their fear that they have. Sometimes people go to the worst case scenario, and most of the time, that's not how it turns out. So try to keep it in perspective. This is important because the best healing comes from when you're not worried about something. You're not stressed and can be calm and serene to help your body recover. Another practical thing you can do is to recommend comedy over horror or drama in their TV viewing pleasure. Reading inspirational messages, watching YouTube videos of other people who have had miraculous recoveries. Either way, we don't have control over their choices, but we do have to respect their decisions. All we can do is offer prayer, hands-on healing, emotional support, physical support, maybe just an extra pillow. And it's an honor in our commitment to do so. It all comes down to just being there, whether it's by phone, text, or in person. It's okay to be quiet. You don't have to entertain. You don't have to keep them talking. It's okay just to hit pause. You can sit in silence to just be there with them in their situation so they know that they aren't alone. And sometimes that's really all they want. Sometimes that's really all they need is just not to feel alone, for them to just be able to relax. And that will also help the healing energy flow. You can offer all, some, or none of these things, but the most important part, besides just being there, is asking them what they need. And if they ask for something, please do your best to accommodate. Sometimes they might be afraid to ask for anything, to not burden anyone. And if so, you can let them know that it would be your pleasure and your honor to provide whatever it is that they need. And you know they would do the same for you. Sometimes that helps. And before you leave them or the conversation, you can follow up with, is there anything else? Because you never know. There might just be something else. Maybe some guilty pleasure that they're ashamed to ask for, but would really make their day. And before you leave, try to set a time and date for your next visit so you both have something to look forward to. And please try to stick to it. They may be holding on to seeing you again and the support and comfort that you provide during their pain. I hope this has helped you feel empowered during these often awkward and difficult situations where we might find ourselves not knowing what to do or how to help. With love, light, blessings of healing to you and your loved ones. Peace.